Could Ty Borden actually come back for an emotional reunion in Heartland Season 19? Fans cannot stop talking about this idea, and the rumors are spreading faster than ever. For years, the absence of Ty has left a hole in the show and in the hearts of its viewers. Now whispers are rising that the writers might bring him back in a shocking way. Is it possible that after all this time, Heartland is preparing for one of the biggest twists in its history? To understand why these rumors feel so powerful, we have to go back to the heartbreaking moment when Ty Borden's story came to an end. Ty was not just another character in Heartland, he was the beating heart of the series. From the very beginning, he was portrayed as a young man with a troubled past. But he slowly grew into a loving husband, a caring father, and a loyal friend. His relationship with Amy was not only a central storyline, but it was also the emotional backbone of the show. Viewers followed their love story from the early sparks of romance, all the way to their marriage and the birth of their daughter Lyndy. For many fans, Ty represented stability, healing, and growth, making his loss even more painful. When Ty died, it was not just another dramatic twist. It was a moment that shook the entire fanbase. The scene left Amy widowed and Lyndy without her father, creating a new chapter of struggle and resilience in the story. The writers wanted to show the reality of grief and the strength it takes to move forward, but for many, the wound never healed. Ty's absence has always been felt in every family gathering, every horse rescue, and every quiet scene with Amy looking back on memories of the man she loved. Even now, several seasons later, his presence lingers like a shadow over the Heartland Ranch. This is why any whisper about Ty's possible return spreads like wildfire. Fans cannot help but wonder if the writers have left a door open for him, no matter how small. Is his story really finished? Or was there always a chance that we could see him again in some way? His importance to Amy's journey, to Lyndy's growth, and to the overall family dynamic means his memory is too strong to simply fade away. For many, Ty is still alive in the spirit of the show, which is why rumors about Season 19 are causing such a stir as Season 19 approaches. The question of Ty's presence feels more urgent than ever. Amy has grown stronger, Lyndy has grown older, and the Bartlett-Fleming family has found new ways to carry on. But no matter what, the idea of Ty suddenly reappearing, whether in a dream, a memory, or something even more surprising, feels like a storm waiting to break. And for fans who have waited years for closure, that storm might be the very thing that reignites their deepest emotions. The spark of Ty Borden's rumored return did not come from official trailers or confirmed news. It started quietly, almost like a whisper among the fans. It began with small conversations on social media platforms where devoted Heartland viewers shared theories about Season 19. Some claimed they noticed hints in the writing of recent episodes. Others swore that certain behind-the-scenes photos carried hidden clues. Before long, these whispers turned into wildfire discussions across online groups, fan forums, and even YouTube channels that dissect every detail of the show. The heart of the rumor is simple, yet powerful. What if Ty is not completely gone, and the writers have found a creative way to bring him back? The first theory that spread like lightning was that Graham Wardle, the actor who played Ty, might return for a short appearance. Fans pointed to the fact that Graham has occasionally spoken warmly about his time on the show in past interviews, though he made it clear he stepped away to focus on other parts of his life. His respect for the cast, crew, and fans left a door of possibility cracked open. This was enough to feed countless speculations. Could he agree to return for just one episode, perhaps as part of Amy's dream or a flashback scene? For many fans, even a few minutes of Ty on screen would be enough to spark tears and nostalgia. Another rumor suggests that the production team might be reusing old, unseen footage of Ty that never made it into past episodes. According to this theory, these clips could be woven into new storylines as memories or visions. Imagine Amy finding an old video or letter from Ty, or Lyndy discovering something left behind by her father. This approach would not require Graham Wardle to film new scenes, but it would still allow Ty's presence to be felt in a fresh and meaningful way. The idea of uncovering lost moments between Amy and Ty feels both emotional and believable. which is why this theory has gained so much traction. A far more dramatic rumor pushes the boundaries of storytelling even further. Some fans believe that the writers might undo Ty's death through a shocking twist, suggesting he could have survived off-screen or that his death was somehow misinterpreted. While this theory excites certain fans, it also divides the community. Many argue that such a decision would disrespect the emotional weight of his original farewell, while others insist it would give them the closure they have longed for. Heartland has always been grounded in realism, so bringing Ty back from the dead would feel risky. Yet the sheer popularity of the character makes fans wonder if the writers would dare. What makes these rumors even stronger is the passion behind them. People who have followed Heartland for nearly 2 decades feel personally invested in the story. They share posts, create fan-made edits of Ty and Amy, and write theories that spread across platforms like Wildfire. For them, these speculations are not just wild guesses. They are a reflection of their hope that the emotional bond with Ty is not over yet. Season 19, with its milestone of longevity, feels like the perfect stage for a big surprise. Fans believe that the writers might just be bold enough to pull it off, as the noise of these rumors grows. One thing becomes clear: Ty Borden may no longer be in the show physically, but he continues to dominate the hearts and conversations of the audience. And with each passing day, the possibility of his return, no matter how small, fuels the kind of excitement that keeps the Heartland fandom alive. When the rumors of Ty Borden's return began to spread, the reaction from fans was immediate, emotional, and deeply divided. For some, the idea lit a spark of hope they had carried in their hearts since the moment Ty's storyline ended. These fans flooded comment sections with heartfelt messages, writing about how they cried when Ty died and how they still miss his presence in every new season. To them, the possibility of seeing him again, whether in a dream, a flashback, or even for just one final goodbye, feels like a gift. They imagine how powerful it would be to watch Amy and Lyndy share one more moment with the man they loved. A scene that could heal years of unresolved grief for the characters and the audience alike. On the other side, there are viewers who feel strongly that bringing Ty back would undo the emotional impact of his departure. They argue that Heartland took a bold and realistic step by showing how Amy had to live on after losing her husband. To them, Ty's death was not just a dramatic plot twist, it was a reflection of life's unpredictable pain, and it gave the show a depth that most family dramas avoid. His fans believe that reversing his story would cheapen the journey Amy and her daughter have endured since his passing. Their comments often stress the importance of respecting the story as it was written, even if it still hurts. Social media has become the battlefield where these feelings clash. On fan pages dedicated to Heartland, you can see posts filled with hopeful edits of Ty and Amy, often captioned with phrases like, "Season 19, please bring him home." Right below those posts, you'll also find comments warning against false hope, reminding fellow viewers that Graham Wardle has moved on and that the show must keep evolving without him. The discussion has become so passionate that fans who disagree often engage in long debates, not out of anger, but out of deep love for the story and characters they followed for years. What makes these reactions unique is how personal they feel. Heartland is not just entertainment for many fans. It is a story that reflects family, loss, and healing in their own lives. Some viewers have shared that watching Amy move forward after Ty's death helped them process grief in their own families. Others say Ty and Amy's love story inspired their own relationships. Because of this personal connection, every rumor about Ty's possible return feels like more than just speculation. It feels like reopening an old wound or revisiting a cherished memory. Interestingly, there is also a middle ground. Some fans admit they do not want Ty to return permanently, but they are open to a brief cameo. They imagine a dream sequence where Amy talks to Ty for guidance, or a flashback where Lyndy learns about her father through his old letters. This compromise seems to satisfy both the longing for closure and the respect for the story's realism. It reflects the way many people deal with loss in real life, by holding on to memories without expecting the person to physically return. At the end of the day, the fan reaction proves one undeniable truth. Ty Borden's legacy in Heartland is far from over. Whether people hope for his comeback or argue against it, the fact that his name still sparks so much emotion shows just how much he meant to the audience. Season 19 is not even aired yet, but the conversation around Ty ensures that his spirit continues to be one of the strongest forces driving excitement for the show. Behind the rumors and the emotional storm of fan debates lies another question. What do the people who actually shape Heartland think about Ty Borden's possible return? This is where the story becomes even more complex. To understand the truth, we need to look at both Graham Wardle's own words and the creative choices of the producers and writers who have carried this series for nearly 2 decades. When Graham Wardle announced his departure from Heartland after season 14, he made it clear that it was a personal decision. He explained that he felt it was time to move on to new chapters in his life, exploring other creative projects, including podcasting and different forms of storytelling. In interviews, Graham spoke with respect and gratitude for the years he spent as Ty Borden, calling it an incredible journey, but he also emphasized that he needed space for growth beyond the show. His words gave fans closure about why he left, but they also left a question hanging in the air. If his decision was about timing and personal direction, could that door ever reopen, even for just a brief appearance? The producers, on the other hand, have often stood firm on respecting his choice. They've said in various statements that Ty's death was not only part of Graham's decision, but also a turning point for the show. By writing his character's death, they gave Amy a storyline that explored grief, resilience, and new beginnings. This was not an easy choice after all. Ty and Amy's love was central to Heartland, but the team believed it added honesty and depth. Bringing him back permanently would mean undoing that carefully crafted arc, which is why many believe the show will not take that risk. Still, Heartland's creative team has shown time and again that they know how to balance fan expectations with storytelling integrity. Even after Ty's death, the writers made sure his memory was never forgotten. They created moments where Amy reflects on their love, where Lyndy asks questions about her father, and where other characters remind us that Ty's spirit still lives at Heartland Ranch. These choices prove that the show is not afraid to bring him back through memory, legacy, and emotional presence. Even if Graham Wardle is not physically on set, adding more intrigue is the fact that Graham has never spoken negatively about the idea of returning, at least not for something small. He has said in podcasts that he values the fans' loyalty and understands how much Ty means to them. While he seems content with moving forward in his career, he has never completely closed the door to appearing again if the timing felt right. This leaves the producers with an interesting possibility, inviting him back for a cameo that honors the character without rewriting the past. Another behind-the-scenes factor that fuels speculation is the long tradition of shows using anniversaries or milestone seasons to revisit beloved characters. With Heartland approaching season 19, season that proves its remarkable longevity, fans wonder if this might be the perfect opportunity for a surprise. After all, the show has always been about family, healing, and honoring the past. What better way to celebrate such a milestone than to give viewers a moment with Ty? Even if only through a dream, a flashback, or a never-before-seen scene, behind the camera, the decision will always come down to balance, suspecting Graham's journey, honoring the story that has already been told, and giving fans something meaningful without crossing the line into fantasy. That balance is delicate, but it is also what keeps the possibility of Ty's return alive. The creators know the fans' hearts, and they know Ty's absence is still the loudest silence in Heartland, which is why the whispers of his comeback continue to sound believable. Even if no one in production has confirmed it yet, the magic of storytelling is that it can bend time, memory, and emotion. Even though Ty Borden's story was closed with finality, fans have begun imagining the ways season 19 could bring him back, not as a simple resurrection, but as an emotional echo that feels true to both the character and the spirit of Heartland. These possible scenarios are where the rumors take on a life of their own, creating visions so vivid that audiences can almost see them unfolding on screen. One of the most popular theories is the dream sequence. Heartland has never shied away From showing Amy's inner struggles, and her grief often lingers in subtle ways. Imagine Amy working late at the barn, falling asleep next to Spartan, slipping into a dream where Ty walks through the door. In the dream, he does not have to say much, maybe just a few words of encouragement, a smile, or a touch on her shoulder. It would be a bittersweet moment, a reminder that love never truly leaves. This kind of reunion would not change the timeline of the show, but it would give fans an emotional reward they've been waiting years to feel. Another scenario draws from flashbacks. What if Amy or Lyndy discovered something tucked away in the ranch hand old journal, a letter, or even a forgotten video Ty recorded? A scene like this would allow the show to use Graham Wardle's likeness without requiring a full return. Lyndy could sit with her mother, watching Ty's recorded words of love and wisdom, giving Amy a chance to pass his legacy down in a tangible way. This approach would also serve the theme of Heartland. Family bonds surviving through generations. Even when someone is no longer physically present, there's also a theory that Season 19 could use Ty as a guiding presence for Lyndy specifically. Fans imagine an episode where Lyndy faces a struggle, perhaps with her horse, or with growing pains in her teenage years, and she asks her mother about her father. Amy could share a memory, and the scene could transition into a flashback of Ty teaching a lesson from years ago. This would create a layered storytelling style where the past informs the present, giving Lyndy the fatherly wisdom she craves. Even in his absence, some fans have suggested a more daring approach. A one-time special episode focused entirely on Ty. It could weave together unseen footage, narration, and reflections from Amy and the family, almost like a tribute episode. Rather than altering the show's current direction, it would be a celebration of his life, crafted as both closure and a love letter to longtime fans. Such an episode would not only honor Ty, but also give Graham Wardle the chance to appear, in a way that feels respectful of his departure. Of course, the boldest and most controversial idea is the twist ending, Ty reappearing alive. Though unlikely, given the show's realistic tone, fans still whisper about the possibility. Some dream of an explanation where he survived and was away for reasons beyond his control. Others dismiss it as too far-fetched for Heartland's grounded style. Still, the very existence of this theory shows just how much viewers long for a miraculous reunion. Even if it means stretching the boundaries of the story, what unites all these scenarios is the hunger for closure. Ty's return, whether as a dream, a memory, a flashback, or a symbolic presence, would not be about undoing the past. It would be about giving the audience a way to reconnect, even briefly, with a character who shaped the soul of Heartland. Each idea reflects the same desire: to feel that love again, to honor what was lost, and to remind everyone that Ty Borden is not just a character in a story, he is family to the millions who have grown up watching him. The challenge is finding balance. If Ty were to appear again, the show would have to do it in a way that feels authentic. A full return, where Ty is revealed to be alive, is almost certainly off the table. But smaller appearances, dreams, flashbacks, old recordings, or unseen memories sit right in the middle between hype and truth. They allow the story to honor Ty without undermining the realism Heartland is known for. It is here, in this middle ground, where the rumors gain the most weight. They may not promise Ty's return as a living character, but they fuel hope for a moment of reunion. It feels both possible and powerful. And perhaps that is the true genius of the hype. It does not need to promise the impossible. It only needs to give fans something to hold on to, a belief that their emotional connection to Ty has not been forgotten by the creators. Even if the truth is that Graham Wardle will never return for a full storyline, the hype ensures that the conversation stays alive. Keeping Ty present in every discussion of Season 19, so is Ty's return in Heartland, Season 19 a fact or a fantasy? At this moment, the truth leans heavily toward fantasy. But the hype carries something equally important: the chance that, in some form, the writers will find a way to give fans one more glimpse of the character who defines so much of Heartland's heart. The answer may not lie in an official press release, but in the power of fans to keep Ty alive in spirit until the writers decide whether or not to surprise them. The challenge is finding balance. If Ty were to appear again, the show would have to do it in a way that feels authentic. Full return, where Ty is revealed to be alive, is almost certainly off the table. But smaller appearances, dreams, flashbacks, old recordings, or unseen memories sit right in the middle between hype and truth. They allow the story to honor Ty without undermining the realism Heartland is known for. It is here in this middle ground where the rumors gain the most weight. They may not promise Ty's return as a living character, but they fuel hope for a moment of reunion. It feels both possible and powerful. And perhaps that is the true genius of the hype. It does not need to promise the impossible. It only needs to give fans something to hold on to, a belief that their emotional connection to Ty has not been forgotten by the creators. Even if the truth is that Graham Wardle will never return for a full storyline, the hype ensures that the conversation stays alive, keeping Ty present in every discussion of Season 19. So is Ty's return in Heartland, Season 19, a fact or a fantasy? At this moment, the truth leans heavily toward fantasy, but the hype carries something equally important: the chance that, in some form, the writers will find a way to give fans one more glimpse of the character who defined so much of Heartland's heart. The answer may not lie in an official press release, but in the power of fans to keep Ty alive in spirit until the writers decide whether or not to surprise them.